What day is it? It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Muriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Laja Nima Akansha Zibiri, how are you?
I'm very fine. Even I don't forget my banter. Okay, so yesterday I was at the Federal Medical Center, Ebute, and a lot of things have really improved. I'm wondering how the things just, upgrade like this. But I missed my way. I went to the railway clinic. So there's the railway staff, they have a clinic inside the medical facilities. Is it because they have an FMC that is upgraded, the doctors, they even have, new walkways, the wards, the beds, everything is just new. And they abandoned the railway clinic. There's a burnt building within the railway clinic, abandoned, roof opened. The clinic is just, one of those pictures that you see from outside Lagos that it looks like a place they send people to go and die, that kind of place. Within the town, within the railway compound, I looked at it and I felt, really just the way we do things here. Yes, it's burnt. There was right outside it was a campaign picture for Ward Council elections. There's a local government chairman. The local government secretariat is just behind the railway compound at the FMC. Waiting they happen. Somebody cannot say they did not walk past it to make it an emergency, because that clinic attends to staff members and it shouldn't be like that.
You don't even see it. That's what's annoying.
Be like that.
Hello, Mariam Longe. How are you?
I'm fine. So this holiday, I have been taking the time to try and work out again. Physical, and I'm just realizing that it's taking much longer to recover. I was just saying to somebody that things are moving differently. Yeah, I don't like it. It's not fun at all, and I cannot believe that I'm having this conversation at this very young age of mine, because I remember just a few years ago that was the conversation my mom was having. But a lot of the conversations around perimenopause, menopause, I'm seeing a lot of that, and it seems that, this is a conversation that we need to be having, so that people understand when they get into their 40s, how their body is changing, how they need to live life and get the best of life. So many people are getting depressed because they just cannot fathom what they are going through and how their body is changing. Yeah.
I mean, I've been having some serious pain. I've been having the chest pain here, I've been a knee pain here. I was going to say this was not exercising, and it just feels different. I mean, I feel like at that point I really need to have a close relationship with my doctor. Ramatu, how are you?
I'm doing well. So yesterday after the show, I went for like a small party. There's this neighbor of ours that did a small. She won something, yeah. So of course we bought her shebi, and
a small get together.
I was going
to
tell
you something.
She won a party mixed with there's this widow something she did, and they're giving her an award.
Nice.
So we sold clothes, but I've been having issues. I don't have tailor, so I now got a new tailor. So I told her to sew a gown for me. So she sewed the gown, no slit, nothing. So the down. You need to see the way I was walking yesterday.
Me and jellyfish.
Me and Agwa. Me the pepper.
Like fish.
We're just In fact, I was like, what kind of? But it was that shabby, so I had to wear that dress. So I was so slow, and the day was just somehow. And I was like, I didn't even disturb you, because you said you have a tailor that lives around.
Yes,
I was like, I didn't even disturb you to give me that tailor's number. I need it. So, but yesterday was okay. We had fun. We ate a lot.
So yesterday I was at the International Facility Management event in IFMA. It was really, really informative. And of course, Fashola was the keynote speaker. It was awesome. I mean, the guy, I think going forward, I must not miss any BRF events.
Yes.
Like any events where he's speaking, I think we need to make a point to attend, because he always has something important to say. I mean, I learned so much, and one of the key points that facility management is not about, how they say in Nigeria, we don't have a maintenance culture. He said there's nothing like that. It's like saying you don't have a keke na pep culture. That it is facility management is a business, an economic opportunity for people to actually see how you can maintain the doorknobs, the toilets, what you just talked about, the facilities, the public hospitals, schools, painting the walls, making sure the electricity works, making sure these are opportunities where we can actually unlock unemployment in Nigeria just through facility management. across, but because we're not used to maintaining things, and because until we get used to it and see the economic power in it, it now becomes a culture. The culture we see is a solution to economic problems. So for me, that was a light bulb moment, because I felt that, when we think, oh, there's no job in Nigeria, there's actually lots of jobs. People are not just putting that bridge between.
Because it's your banter, I have plenty things to say on that.
Oh yeah, trust me, we can actually discuss, we can make it a topic, and it's something worth talking about. Anyway, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, we're going to start with The Nation. Governors lament dismissal of foreign direct investments. Ogun APC suspends Senator Daniel. NCAA invites Ibom Air Crew and Emerson. Edun Cardoso meet to strengthen fiscal monetary policies synergy. 4 more internet fraudsters arrested at Obasanjo Presidential Library convicted. Probe of 661 million naira. Court freezes ex-NNPCL boss Kiari's accounts. And all were Catholic Church attackers linked to foreign terror group. Okay. Which story?
Okay. So today is Wednesday, when the NCA has invited all parties in the Kwamtu saga. Ms. Emerson, according to the Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Mr. Michael Achimogu, he said that he has invited them. Now today they are going to be meeting with Ms. Emerson, Ms. Juliana Edward, who's the crew member in question, and other crew members of the Ibom Air. And they will be going into further investigation into the matter. Also, the NCA Director General, Captain Chris Najomo, has directed going forward strictly all phones must be switched off at critical stages of flight. Switch off, now then talk, they did not use the word flight mode, so that we don't get confused. He directed all domestic airline operators to amend their operations manual to reflect the new directive and submit them for immediate approval. So that's the new status quo. But I want to see how the meeting between Ms. Emerson and what the outcome will be like, because of the new emerging facts that came from this.
Okay.
Okay.
I have 4 more internet fraudster suspects that were arrested at Obasanjo Library Complex have been convicted. So we remember the sting operation by EFCC at a hotel that was within the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library Complex in Abeokuta. So he said yesterday 4 more of the suspects were convicted. 93 suspects had initially been arrested, and then they said in 2 separate judgments, Olugbodi Adefolarin Pamilerin, Adenuga Ezekiel Oluwaseyi, Yusuf Ramon, and Ganiu Ibrahim were yesterday sentenced for internet fraud. Pamilerin Oluwaseyi pleaded guilty for posing as a female Emily Edens on Instagram. He was found to have retained $160 obtained through deceit. And on him were an iPhone 14 and 150,000 naira that were taken from him. So he was sentenced to 1 month imprisonment or an option of 500,000 naira fine. And he was also ordered to forfeit the iPhone to the federal government. The others, we have Oluwa Sheyi, who pleaded guilty to impersonating a woman on Gmail accounts and retaining $1,000 from fraud. He had 2 iPhone 15 Pro Max and iPhone 6S, a million naira bank draft and forensic investigation reports. He was sentenced to 3 months imprisonment or an option of 2 million naira fine with confiscation of his devices and bank draft, and so on and so forth. There was another person too impersonating a female using Gmail account CinderLauren909 at gmail.com and Anthony Eagle 879 at gmail.com, and he would, you know, send messages to unsuspecting public. I don't know why I just feel that the sentences seem quite mild for the for the crime. A month imprisonment or 500,000 naira.
What is existing in the book.
That has to be looked into.
Okay, so I have the story. The NGF, that's the Nigerian Governors Forum, had a meeting yesterday, and they had something called an Investopedia. It was a compendium of investment opportunities in all the 36 states. So the chairman of the NGF, Abdurrahman Abdurazak, that's the governor of Kwara State, was saying that despite the huge potential of investment in all the states, FDI into each state has been quite low. According to him, only about in the past decade, only $2 billion have entered any of the states, which is less than 0.5% of GDP. He was asking that the governors, they try to draw attention to untapped investment opportunities in the state. They urge potential investors to unlock them for the nation's prosperity. According to them, the subnational units are open, credible, and are ready to support investment prospecting beyond oil and gas. That's what they've been getting so far. They're saying that there's so much more opportunities in the states. However, they also mentioned that the African Development Direct investment has been steady. They have been steadily growing, and in the regions of South Africa, Morocco, Egypt, and Ghana, expanding to sectors, and they're asking that this should also be extended to Nigeria. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so I have the story of the monetary policies between the monetary policy synergy. They said the federal government has spoken of plans to strengthen fiscal and monetary policies to boost the economy. So there was a meeting between the Minister of Finance and coordinating Minister of the Economy, that's Mr. Wale Edun, and the Central Bank Governor, Dr. Olayemi Kodoso, and also the Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue, that's FIRS, Dr. Zach Adidiji. They said they had a meeting, and the meeting was about designing to sustaining microeconomic stability, boosting investor confidence, and unlocking private sector-led growth in the line with the federal government economic reform agenda. They said that that this came. There were backdrops of criticism that in the last administration there was little or no synergy between fiscal and monetary authorities, and that was the reason why they said they have to. And because of that, it led into them having policies that are inconsistent, that undermine the growth, stifled private sector participation, and heightened microeconomic challenges. So now they are saying that because of all this, Nigeria is witnessing a consistent decline in inflation, relative exchange rates, stability, and a need to attract more investment inflows. So they are saying that this meeting signals the current administration's determination to forge closer collaboration among key economic managers.
Okay, the Punch. Capital projects crumble as states cut spending. 2027 showdown. Wike fires shot as Amechi, Babashir, and trashes ADC. Court blocks ex-NNPCL boss's account amid EFCC probe. Ramfak faces backlash over pay rise for political office holders. Yoruba elders weighed in as Alaafin and Oni feud escalates. Our church attackers have ties to Al-Shabaab, says DSS. And ex-NNPCL spokesman canvasses tax relief for media houses. Let's take one story for the break.
Let me carry quickly. So it's a turn by turn. It has reached the ex-NNPC Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Mr. Medikiari's turn. So the EFCC went to court. As the court in a temporary application, which is known as an ex parte application, to freeze the proceeds of what they consider money laundering as well as some conspiracy. So they're investigating him for alleged conspiracy, abuse of office, and money laundering. And the proceeds of this money, according to the Punch, is domiciled with Jaiz Bank to the tune of 661 million. So they have asked the court to forfeit this money temporarily, pending when the matter will be heard substantively, and the court has granted that order. And that's what they are investigating him for. I just want to see how it turns out, because we've not finished the one of his counterpart, the CBN governor.
Okay, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's really tough.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Mealtime is game on. Meet my Sure Bet Game Changer, made from natural ingredients to deliver game-changing chicken aroma and taste for my whole team.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
This is not just the round table. This is the black table.
This is the Black Table, where real men speak the truth about the world we live in, the games we play, the power we chase, and the women who shape it all. Unfiltered.
There's this entitlement to choice.
Unapologetic.
There's something in sociology that said even crime has an advantage in the society.
Unafraid.
In my practice, I found that sometimes the woman is saying honey, but you are hearing monkey.
Sports, politics, culture, women, and what it means to be a man in today's world. No scripts, no safe zones, just grown conversations. So pull up a chair if you're built for it. This is the Black Table.
Imagine a country with over 300 plenty languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo? Where we get a common language where they unite everybody from Oga to even Madam self and every person waiting for street. That's now why we dey introduce you 89.9 Yanga FM, the #1 urban pidgin radio station where they unite us all. From the award-winning breakfast show Waiting Day with your brother, your friend Wale Po.
Everywhere.
So Bobo.
Gen Z, it a job for this time.
This na Cruise Express.
And this go be the best 4 hours of our life. Country people, make una join us.
Aww.
now we be What's Up Naija crew. Now we they give you wetin dey sup for inside we country.
Yes, so
keep it loud.
If God be your papa, why you not gonna make younger?
Welcome back. So continue with the punch. There's a story of the Alaafin and Oni which has been trending for the past few days. Prominent Yoruba elders and elders on Tuesday called for restraint and the intervention of cultural and political figures following the reopening of hostilities between the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Akim Owade, and the Oni of Ife, Oba Enito Ogunwusi. The fresh row began on Monday after the Alaafin had conferred the title of Okonlomo of Yoruba land on the businessman Chief Dotun Sanusi, and the Oni had bestowed the title on Sanusi during an event, networking platform at a hotel in Ibadan. However, in a statement signed by the media aide of the Alaafin, he declared that no traditional ruler other than himself has the authority to confer a title covering the entire Yoruba land. He issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the Oni to revoke the title or face consequences. Many thought that declaration was a bit crass and that he could have done it in a better way. And saying something like facing consequences is almost challenging another premium Oba. Now, but reacting, the Oni spokesman, Moses Olafare, said the monarch had directed him to ignore the Alaafin's outbursts and leave the matter in courts of public opinion. We cannot dignify the undignifiable with an official response. We leave the matter to be handled in the public court of opinion. Monday's exchange was the latest in the series of public disagreements between the two foremost monarchs. Interestingly, they took us back to a clip that happened in May, where the First Lady had organized an event and showed the Alaafin the remaining seats, while the other monarch stood up to receive the Oni. Alaafin remained seated. So these little things have been going viral, and obviously they are also aggravating the strain between the two monarchs. I really hope that the Yoruba elders can come in and see what they can do to wade into this, because it's not the first time the Alaafin and Oni of Ife are going at each other. It doesn't go further than this.
I have, yes, procurement delays, worsening insecurity, and rising cost of goods and services have emerged as major reasons several state governments failed to meet their capital expenditure targets in the first 6 months of 2025. So we have the budget implementation reports from state. The second quarter has revealed that capital spending across many states remained significantly below expectations despite ambitious budgetary provisions designed to accelerate infrastructure growth. We also have, last month, the president had urged state governors to prioritize Nigerians' welfare by investing more in their future, putting more money into rural electrification, cultural mechanization, poverty eradication, and improved infrastructure investment. And they say, but given the reports, it just shows that many state governments, what they're doing really is putting a bulk of their resources into, they said a few of them have channeled the bulk of their resources into infrastructure development projects, while many have leaned heavily on recurrent costs and such as salaries, allowance, and overheads. In fact, the best state right now that has recorded the highest capital to recurrent ratio is Enugu, because it put a lot of its resources towards capital expenditure. So, based on reports, it's just saying that state governments need to do more in investing more into capital expenditure instead of recurrent expenditure. It does not seem to be improving, even though they are getting more funds.
Okay, so I have the story about the ex-NNPCL asking for relief for media houses. They said the former chief corporate communications officer of the NNPCL, that is Femi Soneye, has reiterated calls for government support and tax relief for the Nigerian media. He made this call on Tuesday while receiving the Nigerian Union of Journalists. the meeting, he highlighted the challenges confronting the industry and urged the government to provide relief in the form of tax incentives and waivers on import duties for newsprint, broadcast equipment, and digital infrastructure. He said that he's saying that the government can play a supportive role by granting tax incentives or relief on import duties for newsprint, broadcast equipment, and digital infrastructure. And he went ahead to say that the Nigerian media remains one of the most vibrant in Africa. So, you know, since this tax reform started, everybody's just looking for ways of how they can be waving, they can help wave so that they can key into the opportunity.
Daily Sun. Blood flows in Katsina Mosque released Saturday. Bandits massacre 13 worshippers.
That is so.
NLC faults the federal government's ban on workers' rights to politics. Stop selling your future, Obi tells Nigerians. NCAA reads Riot Act to plane passengers. Oshun NBA right AGF demands release of local government funds. And alleged fraud, court freezes bank accounts linked to ex-NNPCL GCU. Okay, who has the major headline?
I do. So according to the Katsina State Government, the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Dr. Nasir Muazu, he confirmed that yesterday, at the early hours of yesterday, 13 worshippers in a mosque were massacred, and it was while they were in prayers that they were killed. He said the people of Ugwan Mantu decided that they wanted to lay ambush to these worshippers. So to them, it was like a retaliatory effort that happened. And the government announced immediately that security reinforcement and support measures will be following this. Yes, they're reacting to it. Sadly, these people have been confirmed dead. And, you know,
that's so sad.
And they'll be buried.
Really sad indeed.
I have the NBA, Nigeria Bar Association, has called the federal government to immediately release statutory allocations due to local government councils in Osun State, describing the continued withholding of the funds as unconstitutional, illegal, and a dangerous affront to judicial pronouncement. The NBA said that there's no legal justification for the action, warning that it cannot but constitute clear impunity were it to be true that funds meant for the LGAs are currently being seized or withheld. According to the reports, they haven't received their allocation since February this year. And it has gotten to the point where they have to now present a letter.
So is there clarity now? Because there was the confusion. You know, the court had reinstated the suspended LGAs, and Osun went ahead and held an election. So the new local government chairman had to go to court to clarify who is substantive chairman. They reinstated one of the new elected.
So they said that the body, that's NBA, has recalled that a series of court judgments had already clarified the legal status of local government leadership in Osun State. It noted that while October 15, 2022 elections produced APC chairman and councillors, subsequent judgments of the Federal Court Osogbo nullified their elections. Yes, that's the clarification.
Okay. So the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Mr. Peter Obi, admonished the electorate to stop selling their votes, describing it as one of the greatest threats to Nigeria's democracy. The former governor of Anambra on his ex-handle said that vote buying is one of the greatest dangers confronting the nation's democracy. It is never an act of kindness, it is calculated investment in corruption. Those who are buying votes do so with only one intention: to gain access to public funds. By bribing voters today, they are purchasing a license to plunder tomorrow, and then they can go into office, and the money meant for schools, hospitals, roads, jobs is now diverted into private pockets. So he's admonishing young people not to sell their votes. I guess that's on the backdrop of the recent by-elections that happened in the few states. Moving on now to Vanguard. The U.S. report raises concerns over security and justice in Nigeria. NCA summons Ibom Air cabin crew Emerson for further investigation. Our Catholic Church attackers had links with foreign terror group, says DSS. Vision restored how Vanguard is challenging lives. Bandits killed 13 worshippers in Katsina Mosque. Edwin Cardoso strengthened fiscal monetary partnership. Okay, which story haven't we taken?
Quickly, massacre. The DSS, you know, of course, are trying these 5 suspects from the massacre. The 5 who were originally at
That's all you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
5 who were originally arrested since 2022 are presently on trial. They applied for their bail, and their defense counsel, of course, is saying that they've been in court, they've been in custody since 2022 without proper release. So he is alleging human rights abuses. But the DSS is saying these 5 persons killed over 40 persons and injured 100 worshippers at the Catholic Church in Owo. Yet they also have a very high likelihood of being linked to the Al-Shabaab terrorist group, and that some of the co-conspirators who escaped that they're trying to find are presently making frantic efforts to monitor the trial and intimidate witnesses out of trial, and so they're using that opportunity to trail them and hopefully arrest them, the other conspirators, and bring them to justice. But I think 2022 to 2025 is a long time enough. Justice delayed can be denied.
Yeah, which is similar to the next story I had concerning the United States. They raised concerns over security and justice delivery in the country, citing cases of enforced disappearances and arbitrary detentions. The presidency obviously has quickly responded, saying that the country's judicial system was not only addressing concerns about the lengthy pre-trial period alongside other issues, but the federal government is also stabilizing the naira and recalibrating the economic in general. But the Human Rights Bureau of Democracy Human Rights in the U.S. also identified lengthy pre-trial detention, which is what Nima just said, and delays as major challenges facing Nigeria's justice system. The report also said that new minimum wage of 70,000 naira had been undermined by the continued depreciation of the naira, while quoting Amnesty International as saying the whereabouts of dozens of young men trained, the dozens of men detained by SARS, the former police station in Anambra State, remains unknown since the disbandment of SARS back in 2020. Quite a bit in that report. I mean, it was quite comprehensive. I didn't read the full thing, but it's quite instructive that there's so much to be done when it comes to justice in Nigeria. Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, bring in our special feature. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Start your day and have a good time. Kivo Creamer. Where you need to have the break time. Kivo Creamer. If not tea, Papa Garita. Kivo Creamer.
How do I holla?
Now here we dey settle all the matter.
Bro, we right here. Nobody better than we, right?
Okay, now whispers with that. Make I just be the last sensible voice where you go here.
Now we be 89.9 Yanga FM.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
This is not just the round table. This is the Black Table.
This is the Black Table, where real men speak the truth about the world we live.
Thanks for staying with us and welcome back to our special features. Joining us on the show is the chairman of the Stephen Akintayo Foundation, Dr. Stephen Akintayo himself. He'll be launching I think it's the Saki or the Stephen Akintayo Consulting Holdings, a new investment platform focused on artificial intelligence and private equity across the US and Africa. At the event, he'll also be unveiling 5 new books on artificial intelligence, each offering practical strategies tailored for pastors, entrepreneurs, and innovators worldwide. Dr. Akintayo, welcome to the show, sir. Are you there?
I am here. How are you today?
Good to have you. So tell us about this business growth conference happening in Houston, Texas, and what should attendees expect to get from this conference?
Okay, thank you for having me. It's good to be here again. We started this conference this year called the Business Growth Conference because we realized the level of challenges that entrepreneurs face. Back in Africa, we have a huge unemployment rate, but a very huge young population wasting away because we are not able to provide jobs for them. Okay, and so we looked at businesses. Why are businesses not thriving enough to be able to create jobs? We realized that there are so many challenges, bottlenecks, and there's lack of intentional mentorship. You look at here in America, for example, virtually every successful entrepreneur has a book. Every successful entrepreneur has a paid conference, training, workshop. Back in Africa, we don't do that. So we started, and then we did the one for London. It was a huge success because we also realized those in diaspora also when the Indians want to go abroad, they're thinking of starting a business. When Nigerians want to go abroad, they're thinking of getting a job. And the Western world is a capitalist society, right? So you are the system is built to support entrepreneurs and investors. And that's why, for me, as a business owner, I declare what I want to pay in tax. But you, as an employee, your tax is deducted from source. So we then realize that our people also in diaspora are not starting businesses. They are not building businesses, or they're not even able to scale. So we decided to start bringing successful people here in diaspora, as well as those back from home. Like Dr. Cosmos will be sharing his story of growing the Coscharis group from less than $400 to multi-billion-dollar in transaction every year company.
Okay.
And it just promises to be great.
All right.
Okay. GTX Holding has been a significant player in the real estate sector. So what was the catalyst for the new company's strategic direction to create a more diversified conglomerate?
Beautiful. So real estate is just the base, right? Every economic activity requires real estate, right? You need the land. If you're going to build hospitals, if you're going to build hotels, if you're going to build anything, you need land. So for us, the foundation was real estate, but it was way more than that. We want to build schools, we want to build malls, we want to build cinemas, we want to do retail. However, we also realize that the world is, to start those companies all over again. I mean, I've done that for the last 17 years. It's not easy to start a business from scratch. So the new direction is SASI Holdings is a private equity firm that is able to buy existing companies, right, and infuse them into already what we're doing in other areas. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we invest in an hotel chain, okay, that is based in the UK or in the US. We're able to bring that hotel chain to Nigeria. We already have lands in different locations in Nigeria, and we just, start that franchise there. But they already have a structure, they already have a brand, they already have, marketing strategy, and that's what we're looking at. But we also realize that with AI, when it comes to productivity, is speed on steroids. And so we are able to leverage on buying companies that we then infuse AI to take it to the next level. And that's why my 5 new AI book, and it's all free, and people are able to download them for free from anywhere in the world.
Your books target diverse audiences, from entrepreneurs to religious leaders. What motivated you to write a book like AI for Pastors, and how do you see AI transforming the church and evangelism?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So I realized, for example, social media, when social media was started, many religious institutions, even Islam, social media, they're just wasting their time. You see religious leaders preaching that being on social media, you're wasting your time. So what did happen then was that we're not having enough content that helped to shape our morale. By the time religious institutions were coming to social media, they were already the victim of the platform, right? And so the same thing with AI. If we don't have religious institutions and even cultural institutions, today is the Shisha Day, right? How do cultural institutions begin to infuse the right narrative in AI? And else you will see AI can tell you there is no God one day. You just ask ChatGPT, is there God? You can start debating it. But if you are fast in moving there, you influence how AI evolves, because it's still new. It's an open race for everyone to have a grip on AI. But it's also for entrepreneurs. So we targeted people in Europe, people in America, people in Africa. How do you use AI to transform your business? How do you scale because many of the jobs that exist today will no longer exist in the next 5 years. And it's not trying to spell doom. Right now, most of us prefer, robots to operate on us than a physical human being. Yep. Because there is human error. Most of these robotics powered by AI are more precise in their surgical operations, and they're able to do research and get data when they are making decisions. And the same will begin to infuse into other aspects. Now, will AI take your job? The answer is yes and no. AI will take the job of those who don't use AI to do their job. So everyone has to begin to, same thing, AI will take the business of those who don't use AI to, effectively deliver. Yeah.
Okay, so from one of your book, Unlock the AI Gold Mine, promises a path earning over $200,000 per month. What is one practical, actionable tip from the book that our viewers can use right away?
So I will just give you an example. AI you can set up an AI agent right now. And people, by the way, the QR code is on the screen. You can scan the QR code and get the book. Is free, so you download it for free. Now you can set up an AI agent as a lawyer that you upload all the, let's say you are trying to do maybe an AI agent for the world, right? You can upload Nigerian constitution, all the African constitution. You can upload, European constitution. You can upload American constitution to that AI agent, and is able to give people legal advice that you as a human being cannot give, right? And begin to, in a way, say, if you then want further consultations, right? If you then want us to help you draft a proposal, draft a contract, maybe you pay an extra $20 or $50 and gradually monitor. And this will work for you. It doesn't go on break. Anybody can download your AI agent or access your AI agent and is able to help them solving legal issues from anywhere in the world. And you can literally do that even with ChatGPT without being a coder. You don't need to say, but I'm not a tech person. You don't need to be a coder to set up an AI agent, okay, for law, for example. So these are some of the businesses we shared in the book to say this in different sectors. You can literally set up agents, you can learn prompt engineering, and you don't need to be a coder, you don't need to be a techie to begin this new world order. And we have that transition phase of the next 2 to 5 years. And if we, particularly those of us who are from African origin, don't take a leap of faith, adopt it on time, influence it, and be ahead of the curve, we may end up being the one just, feeling the effect of the fact that the world has changed. Yeah.
So beyond your strategic course, how do you see GTEx Holdings continue to innovate and remain a leader in the original real estate sector?
Beautiful. I think the diversification is critical because, like I said, real estate is just the base. You buy land, then you can build a school or a home, hospital, or any other thing, right? So we are moving to the next phase for us as a company globally, where at this point, how do we then evolve into real, tangible economic activities on the real estate we've acquired over the years all over the world, and how do we innovate in that sector? How do we make sure we're not just building your regular infrastructure? I wouldn't be surprised if we will be one of the first companies to start using robots to build houses. I won't be surprised. I'm not saying we will, but I won't be surprised. But we are trying to evolve as a brand. All those who work with us all over the world have been told they have few months to master AI and begin to leverage on AI to do their existing job.
Okay, let's talk about the Business Growth Conference. This is a conference that aims to provide a platform for networking and learning. In your experience, what is the most valuable aspect of these types of events for business leaders and entrepreneurs?
One, it gives you opportunity to network. Your network determines your net worth. And you can't scale your business above the quality of relationship you keep, the quality of partners you have. In events like this, you meet quality people at the event. It's taking place in Houston, JW Marriott, by the Galleria this Saturday and Sunday, which, registration start 8 a.m. And people can go to the website to register. We're bringing business leaders based here in the U.S. as well. I've been living here in the U.S. for the last 2 years now. Most people don't know, I've not lived in Nigeria for the last 5 years. But I come home regularly because we believe in our nation. We believe in, influencing change in our country. But as a person in diaspora, entrepreneurship is the solution. But being in the room with other entrepreneurs who are extremely successful, sharing their story, encouraging you, giving you tips on funding, giving you tips on marketing, giving you management strategies to scale, is something that we cannot overemphasize. And I look forward to meeting as many, and it's open to everyone, even if you're not from Nigeria, it's open to everyone to be part of it, and we're going to be having a great time this Saturday and Sunday here in Houston.
Amazing. So looking ahead, how do you plan to leverage your new focus on AI to further the mission of SASSY Holdings and empower a new generation of entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so one of the goals we are having is, if we invest in a business, we buy a new company, for example, maybe we bought 10% equity or 20%, doesn't matter. How do we then use AI to increase productivity so that all shareholders can get value for money? How do we change the management if they are not the right management in that company? So these are some of the things we're hoping SASSY. I mean, I've had over 20-something years in business, 17 years as a registered company, and I've seen ups and downs, challenges, lack of funds, lack of structure, and we've built something, and that wisdom can be translated into other businesses. We can help use a lot of what I've learned over the years to help change businesses that we're going to be investing into. It's a long-term project to start buying companies. Even for me, it's a new world of being a private equity person. I'm learning and evolving. That's part of why I went to Harvard University, and there's so much I've learned. I'm still learning. But knowledge is not a destination, it's a journey. But we're excited about the new phase.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wishing you all the best this Saturday at the conference. We've been speaking with Dr. Stephen Akitayo, who's the chairman of Stephen Akitayo Foundation, and is launching a new company, SASSY Holdings. SASSY Holdings. Wishing you all the best, Ms. Dr. Akitayo.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Imagine a country with over 300 plenty languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo? Where we get a common language where they unite everybody from Oga to even Madam self and every person where they for street. That's now why we dey introduce you 89.9 Yanga FM, the #1 urban pidgin radio station where they unite us all. From the award-winning breakfast show, Waiting Day, with your brother, your friend, Wale Po.
Everywhere. So, Bobo.
It a job for this
This is not Cruise Express.
And this go be the best 4 hours of our life. Country people, make una join us.
Now we be What's Up Naija crew. Now we they give you wetin dey sup for inside we country.
Yes, so
keep it loud.
If God be your papa, why you not gonna make Yanga?
Compound to Wahala.
now here we dey settle all the matter.
Bro, we right here. Nobody better than we, right?
Okay, now whispers be that. Make I just be the last sensible voice where you go here.
Now we be 89.9 Yanga FM.
Take the final decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe it's achievable with all the commitments we have.
He explored the city of Lagos. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of your view are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
This is not just the round table. This is the Black Table.
This is the Black Table, where real men speak the truth about the world we live in, the games we play, the power we chase, and the women who shape it all. Unfiltered.
There's this entitlement to choice.
Unapologetic.
There's something in sociology that said even crime has an advantage in the society.
Unafraid.
In my practice, I found that sometimes the woman is saying honey, but you are hearing monkey.
Sports, politics, culture, women, and what it means to be a man in today's world. No scripts, no safe zones, just grown conversations. So pull up a chair if you're built for it. This is the Black Table.
Thanks for staying with us. So yesterday on the show, There was a report that caught our attention. It says paternity crisis, 1 in 4 Nigerian fathers, not biological parents, says report by Chioma Obina of Vanguard. According to her, amid persistent paternity crisis and deepening trust issues within Nigerian families, a new report by Smart DNA Nigeria has revealed that 1 in every 4 paternity tests conducted in the country still returns negative. In its 2025 annual DNA testing report released this week, the Lagos-based genetic testing company disclosed that 25% of paternity tests conducted between July 2024 and 2025 June showed that the presumed fathers are not biologically related to the children in question. Although slightly lower than 2024's 27%, the figure highlights what the firm calls a worrying, consistent trend. And that's the conversation that I want to start with today, because a lot of people, since this report happened, quite a number of fathers have gone to the clinic to confirm if all their children belong to them. There was a report that we saw, a video that we saw, somebody said all his 6 children do not belong to him. I remember, I think last year or so, I was sharing with you of my brother's friend who had the similar issues, where he raised 2 adults to university. He moved to South Africa. I think they're twins, I think, or something like that. They have found out that the man who raised them is not their father. Then they now found out that there was some other man who their mom was with in America. So yes, he was not torn between, okay, should I let them go? Or after 30 years of raising, So these are real life conversations. Now that there's a report backing it up, is worth conversing on. What are your thoughts on this issue with DNA? And Nigerian women, I don't know, I'm trying to find the right question to ask. How do you see this report, especially it's Lagos-based? So when this is our small Lagos, things are happening. You can join the conversation. You can call us on 020-162-013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and YouTube. We'll be happy to share your thoughts. Women are doing this. See, me, I don't even mind. You see, if you want to cheat as an adult, people cheat every day. Cheating is not going to stop. It has never stopped. Yeah. But having the audacity to give somebody else's child to another, that is my own problem. I don't understand it.
I think there's a bigger crime. So cheating, yes, is a crime. Some people find it unforgivable, but you see paternity fraud. To defraud somebody of money, that's the pain. That's a story of your South African 30 years. 30 years. You defraud me. There's an Islamic prayer we pray against wasted years. Whenever I do that prayer, there's a fear that comes. When you can't recover something, where do you even start? To recover it? Something that compels you to totally submit, say, God, at this point, helplessness, I'm completely in need of your help. That's the kind of thing that paternity fraud does to people. So some people find out early enough. Some people never do find out. Some people find out too late in their lives. Where the man want from start. So it is such seriousness. Remember the last time we did, YK was on set and we're saying there should be legislation criminalizing it and finding the women who deliberately do it criminal. But then BC said something about chimerism, abina chimerism. There's a word, one scientific word of the DNA of unabsorbed fetus blending into the mother that, confuses.
It's a small percentage of human beings that fall under that.
There's a new study that I saw of mothers keeping DNAs of their babies as a link for years.
How do you keep that?
In their bodies. For those of us who have gone through child loss and all of that, I was reading that study recently of the babies living, yes, you living a part of them in you that blends into your own DNA for long. So imagine someone like me getting pregnant between my last baby loss and the next one was about 4 months. And then they find the DNA of the other one fully in the new one. That kind of study. Even the babies who survive, when their placenta, placentas and all of those new sciences coming out, how that can cause a whole lot of confusion. So my own point here is there are a lot of innocent women caught in this web of paternity. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I don't know, Nima.
A lot. Wait, I'm coming on. This way I'm going on before they will finish.
Because you want to define the women now. This is the way
we want to defend women. Yes, because Morale, the women in my circle, the women I have lived with.
Okay, no, I just want to understand.
So it depends on what you see every day.
Yeah.
From what I see every day, I would stand for a woman who says, this is a mistake.
Yes, this is my child.
I will trust that woman because the women in my circle, this is something totally strange. Paternity fraud is strange to us from where I'm from. So I'm just saying, if this result comes out and the woman doesn't show guilt and she shows confusion, can we calmly exploit?
Okay.
Before we continue, you know, Eva, the daughter of Eva, all of you fire.
Okay, we understand that.
First
can
of
we
all,
exploit?
The having children and your DNA, it would not make that child very different from you. The DNA will show that child is
different from their dad. Is the dad we are talking about? The samples of the dad, if the DNA of the...
you used yourself as an example.
Of
those
lost photos
would show,
those
fetuses will show who the father and the mother is now. And subsequent siblings will also share the same DNA. We don't all have 100% same DNA, but we have similarities. And that's why even when you get a DNA test, it says 99.9% with the father. So on one side, I understand where you're heading. You're trying to really make a case for those who may not know.
Yeah.
And I feel scientifically, that is a small group of people, that particular term you use, that have that. Then secondly, the other part that also may be innocent is you have to also make sure that you check the DNA of the mother as well, because we have a lot of other maternity fraud as well, where children have been mixed up, the wrong child has been given to the wrong parent. So when that happens, the grace would be, before you attack, make sure that you've done the proper investigation, that also that child matches either both parents or neither, you know, and then you can investigate what may have happened.
Let me go on a
then
short
last,
break.
okay.
Then I come back because we need to take this layer by layer.
Yeah.
Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Imagine a country with over 300 plenty languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa and Igbo? When we get a common language, where they unite everybody from Oga to even Madam self and every person where they for street. That's now why we dey introduce you 89.9 Yanga FM, the #1 urban pidgin radio station where they unite us all. From the award-winning breakfast show, Waiting Day, with your brother, your friend, Wale Po.
Everywhere.
So, Baba.
It a joke for this time.
This is not Cruise Express.
And this go be the best 4 hours of our life. Country people, make una join us.
Oh.
Now we be What's Up Naija crew. Now we they give you wetin dey sup for inside we country. Yes, so keep it loud.
You've got me your papa. Why you not gonna make younger?
About Wahala.
Now here we dey settle all the matter.
Bro, we right here. Nobody better than we, right?
Okay, now whispers be that. Make I just be the last sensible voice where you go hear.
Now we be 89.9 Yanga FM.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers.
Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe it's achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made,
and possibilities are endless. Amadedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this paternity fraud. It's becoming more prevalent because reports is saying now that 25% of men who were tested showed that they're actually not the fathers of the children in question. And this is quite alarming. You're going to say something?
Yes, I was first responding and I was mentioning cases where it may be a mistake and further investigations need to be done, you know, in favor of the woman. Now, this opinion I'm giving. So I said, first of all, it may be that a child was mixed up at birth, and that happens. So that's why it's good to have that investigation. Then also what was the second thing I mentioned? But there's a third point also, which is sometimes the way we also do our relationships now, where we're in various relationships with other people. And you know, just before you get married, you already have a boyfriend on one hand, you know, and then you have a fiancé on the other hand, not realizing that you had already conceived. So your aim was not to deceive, but it just so happened that you were not aware that you had conceived. And sometimes these relationships are not unbeknown to the person that you're ending up with. So, you know, there are some people that even meet while you're in a relationship. I'm like, leave this person. I want to be your husband. And usually also, in fact, I've heard stories where when the child is determined that it was not for the father, because he's aware of the situation, he accepts it, you know, so that happens. So those are the things for me that I feel.
But the issue is that these women feel they don't want to tell the husband. Why do they feel that? I don't want to, because I want to keep it secret. No, they might know.
So for those that know, now, for those that know, and keep it a secret. That's 1,001 reasons. Because I don't want to lose my husband. I don't want to lose this marriage. What is happening? I'm happy where I am. I'm not even sure, especially if maybe you've lived quite a reckless life. You're thinking about who the father is. But I'm in a stable home now. This is stable. I'd rather give my child this. So for reasons that people may see it as selfish because the man in question here is the one that is being defrauded. But also, other people may see it as being sacrificial. Like, I want to do this for my child. I don't want my child to just be, to suffer for my mistakes. So those are the reasons. There are so many other reasons why people behave like that. But, you know, there was a particular person they are quite well known. And I heard that their first child was not the biological child of her husband. And he accepted it because when she was young, before they got married, she was forced to marry someone else. She's always been in love with this man. She was forced to marry someone else. And when he felt like he was strong enough to, you know, intercept the thing, he took her away and she gave birth to her first child just a few months after they got married. So it was obvious that she was already pregnant. And he knew. And he accepted.
Okay, so thank God the test is very expensive too. So I am very sure that there is not a lot of people that can go into it.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's thank God because, okay, just like she said, there are some secrets that you know that Islamically there are some secrets that you shouldn't disclose. When you know that that kind of secret, when you disclose it, it's going to damage It's going to, yes, there's some information that you keep.
Fraud.
Okay. Wait.
It's not specific, but you can
keep it when you know that it's going to cause serious destruction. You know, there are some people, when they discover, they can kill.
It's not this.
They can kill someone. And
you don't know that. Are you God?
I'm telling you, Islamic. She said Islamically, this type is a crime to not disclose. This type, because the Quran is specific, says they should be called by their father's name. You are not allowed to not disclose their father if you know. So it's a crime, it's a sin to God himself. This is not the type of secret.
But they didn't specify the kind of secret that you should keep. But it's there. Let's just continue. Okay. So thank God. Yeah, so me, I'll say it's good that it's expensive, and you know. So but I know about wait, hold on.
They are saying that thank God is expensive, so people will not going to find out.
If you find out, it causes more problem than.
So you rather us accept a lie. Accept a lie because it is expensive. Is that what you're saying?
It's a new technology that just came in, and for us to start going into it, it causes a lot of problems so far that I have seen. It has not been safe because yes, so far
let's sleeping dogs lie.
Okay, so
exactly.
And then the second thing I wanted to say, there's a story that I know of a lady. She got married, and the husband traveled almost immediately. And then when he traveled, of course, she was not pregnant yet. And she wanted to make sure that she keeps the guy. So she faked pregnancy. And she had already gone to, all this where they adopt babies. She had already gone there to go and tell them that, if they have a baby, they should keep one for her. So she told him she was pregnant. And she was, showing now, if you notice, there are this silly, you won't even notice, you won't know that,
it's fake.
Yeah, it's fake. So she had it on all through, the 9 months he was away, and then she went and adopted that child. So now that child that has come now, she told him that's his child. So when he comes to come and start doing DNA. It can scatter the marriage. And
who scattered it first?
I don't understand what she said. I don't understand Ramatu, because we cannot in any way support something that is wrong, immoral, and it is deceit.
That's what I'm saying. No. It's not only through cheating. It's not only through cheating.
But it's a lie.
So it's a lie. I understand.
It's a lie.
Let's excuse.
You're saying it's not true sexual immorality.
Yes, it's not true sexual immorality.
For me, I even find that worse.
Yes, that one is worse.
Oh no, that one, you are. They should be afraid of you. But what I'm going to say is, do you watch those shows where they give the DNA results to the parents that come to court and ask, have you seen how broken some men are when they find out that years and years they have believed that this child is mine? There was this particular one in America, was locked up.
Let me pause you for a second. Sorry,
okay,
I'm sorry.
have a call.
Rita has been holding. Good morning, Rita.
Sorry, Rita.
Sorry, Rita. Go ahead.
Yeah, locked up for 5 years for not paying child support. Just for him to come out and decided, I've always felt that this child was not really mine. Let's go to court. They go to court. And see, 5 years after in prison, the child was not his. And they immediately turned to the woman and she said, I know who the real father is. We are in conversation. That she has been talking to the person. She puts that man in jail.
So calculate damages.
I can't even begin.
When we are done financial ones.
Do you know what even makes it harder? Is now this man has developed a loving relationship with this person.
That is it.
So in punishing the mother, it's also punishing his child. So it is I think it's terrible.
10 is happening in the world.
Oh, no.
I know a family that all the parties that committed this crime have died. The children have now found out.
Oh God!
At them, because they grew up together. Amongst themselves, they now found that you are not my biological. You are not. So, and there's strong animosity because there's a part of the family saying we are still one. We grew up together. That shouldn't matter. There's not part of us saying never. They cannot get part of our property. We have to yank them. So there's that going on right now. Yeah. Because the family is divided. The mother, the father, the ex, everybody, they've died.
So this story this scenario you just painted is something that we've seen before. In my grandfather's days, what they used to excuse it is that any child born within the family is
regardless.
And as they don't die, you don't have the grandchildren, and we do not have.
When they bring a child from outside and give to you,
they even love. There's one in our family. There was a tussle between two a king in another village and our own family. And we are not titled men in my own family. So what happened was that one of our uncles was married to this lady who was from another village. But the king in that village, before he became king, was her betrothed. And so at some point they had an issue in their marriage. She went there. She stayed there for 9 months. She refused to come back. And then suddenly he went back because money don't and he became appointed by government and brought this. There was issue about that child. Do you know all of us whisper about that child? We they whisper. The king in that place come back and says, this particular child, who is not first, second, third, is in the middle of all the children of the marriage, is my child. And he even dragged the body of that our late wife to his place. So this kind of dramas happen. There's a place where they all know. But it is not in our own place, the second generation, third or fourth generation, to debate it. We leave it the way they died and left it to. It's not our business.
We don't unearth it.
It did not.
Let me take. See, that's the way I want us to go. We unearth this because it goes to what Ramatu was saying, that for the sake of peace, should we just keep quiet? I mean, we'll take that. Let me take this call. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live. Hello. Good morning. Okay, so going back to Ramatu, yes,
for the sake of peace, because at first when I heard 1 in 4, I'm like, that's a large number.
25%.
1 in 4. Yeah. So for every 1, 2, 3, 4, one person died.
It's not our.
In
this Lagos. So, and I was wondering, this is worse. But if we're saying that we never used to talk about it in the olden days, could it be that the number is less?
Yes.
That the numbers are actually reducing. Maybe it was 1 in 2 before. But now, because of DNA testing, people are more careful, and it's 1 in 4. But for me, the question is, why? Why do we have such a large number of women that are having babies that are not
that question. Let's answer that question. I want us to unpack that why. There's a big why, and that why has plenty children under. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amaka Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
This is not just the round table. This is the black table.
This is the Black Table, where real men speak the truth about the world we live in, the games we play, the power we chase, and the women who shake it off. Unfiltered.
There's this entitlement to choice.
Unapologetic.
There's something in sociology that said even crime has an advantage in the society.
Unafraid.
In my practice, I found that sometimes the woman is saying honey, but you are hearing monkey.
Sports, politics, culture, women, and what it means to be a man in today's world. No scripts, no safe zones, just grown conversations. So pull up a chair if you're built for it. This is the Black Table.
Innovation. TD Africa, empowering you. Kolishlashla Mandela was born into the Madiba clan on 18th July 1918. He got involved in politics in 1942 as he helped to form ANC Youth League. He was married to Evelyn Mays and they had 4 children. Mandela was arrested in a countrywide police swoop on 5th December 1956, which led to the 1956 treason trial. Before the end of the treason trial, he wrote to Prime Minister for vote to include a national convention on a non-racial constitution, and failure to adhere would resort to a national strike. In August, he was arrested and charged for leaving the country without a permit and inciting workers to strike. He was convicted and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. On 9th of October 1963, he was on trial with 10 others for sabotage in what became known as the Revolver trial. On the 11th of June 1964, Mandela and 7 other accused were convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. He was later released from its gates on Sunday, 11th of February 1990, 9 days after the unbanning of the ANC and the PAC. Nelson Mandela never wavered in his devotion to democracy, equality, and learning as he immersed himself in official talks to end white minority rule. In 1991, he was elected ANC president to replace his ailing friend, Oliver Tambo. In 1993, he and President F.W. de Klerk jointly won the Nobel Peace Prize, and on 27 April 1994, he voted for the first time in his life. On 10th May, he was inaugurated as South Africa's first democratically elected president. He, however, stepped down in 1999 after one term as president. Despite terrible provocation, he never answered racism with racism. His life is an inspiration to all who were oppressed and deprived, and to all who were opposed to oppression and deprivation. He died at his home in Johannesburg on 5th December 2013.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the issue of paternity, and before the break, we're trying to ask why is it difficult for a woman to disclose to her husband that he's not the father of her child. And for my own question, answering that question for me is fear. And what causes that fear? We can come to what do you think?
There's fear of selfish loss of status for the woman.
No, you can defend fear in different ways, not just status.
Exactly. Defend.
Fear could just be society not allowing you to express yourself.
No, I don't defend
in
it
the true way.
I don't defend it anyway.
Yeah.
So you know, so there's an age a woman lives in fear and is excusable, but you get to a certain age, which fear again? Yes, as a South woman, there's an age a woman gets to. You yourself, you be man. So which fear again? At that point, you're just being selfish. You're enjoying the
it depends on the circumstance, Fanima. It depends on the circumstance.
Let me break it down.
Because do you know the pressure on women when it comes to not having children in this part of in Africa? The pressure is so much, especially if you are barren. It's so terrible that, you know, it's terrible. I've seen somebody that because she couldn't have kids, she was being battered, she felt so less of a woman. In fact, when they are discussing stuff, she can't even come in. She can't even talk, you know, we even into polygamy. Others will come, have children. You can imagine you that you don't have a child. You can't even talk when they are disciplined or doing anything about you. You don't have experience. So you can imagine the pressure. That pressure can make you can go to any length just to have a child. So me, I'm not supporting the fact that you should go and cheat and bring a child home. No. But there are other ways. Because of that pressure is what makes a lot of women go through.
Why?
Do you remember I took one story a week or so ago that talked about the rate of infertility amongst Nigerian men. That they said many Nigerian men they have low sperm count. The quality of the sperm is bad because of lifestyle. So I'm thinking, women are marrying these men, babies are not coming, and they're thinking, if you are not giving me baby, let me go and look for baby. So this, I'm not saying lying to your husband is right, but I'm saying maybe the men should now start sitting down and think very well about these reports that have been coming out recently concerning their health. If there's an issue with, if there's a higher rate of infertility amongst Nigerian men now, and they're telling you it's about your lifestyle, go and start dealing with it. Secondly, another reason is men have infertility issues but would not go to the hospital with their wives to discuss how to solve the issue. The woman is supposed to be the one that is in charge of sorting that issue. So whatever she finds out, whether it's her fault or his fault, she should figure it out. Now, traditionally, how do they deal with that? We read stories where mothers-in-law themselves, knowing that their son is the problem, would bring in the brother of her son and say, Auntie, it's fine. It's even one family anyway. So it looks bad now because we have DNA, we have Western education, but traditionally and culturally, bringing in a child has not been frowned upon. What has been frowned upon is finding out. As long as nobody knows.
So it goes back to, I know we have a guess, it goes back to what I said, fear on all sides. The man is afraid to accept that it is my fault. He's afraid to let society know that, oh, he's the one who has low sperm count. The woman is afraid to say, oh, I brought in my boyfriend's child because society would not accept or I'll be rejected. There's this fear that we don't confront in our culture where everything must be shrouded in some kind of secrecy.
They say our culture. So is there anywhere this is done?
So I'm just saying that because we raise people not to express themselves, because the truth is that if I have a child with my boyfriend, if I fall in love with someone, maybe my ex, I was pregnant with my ex, and maybe we divorced or whatever, we broke up, and then I met somebody that I fell in love, I should have full disclosure to say, I'm pregnant for X.
But there are consequences.
So if you accept me like that, I will marry you. Because there's that fear that you will say no.
When you see Mike, go and look at this man's show. People don't hide these things. It's not everywhere. In our African culture,
the man will accept.
You are allowed to see. Even me as I'm sitting here, I cannot even tell you that I have not advised somebody to step out. Divorce him and try another place, because you cannot be easily getting pregnant in your marriage and things are just, you're losing your babies and the man is refusing to follow you to a fertility clinic. I have sat with somebody and said, divorce him. Because I sat with somebody traditionally.
Your religion. Muslim, Christian cannot just divorce like that.
The advice did not come from even the Muslim. The advice came from a traditionalist who said, if it was back then in their own place in Ishagamu, they would have advised the woman to step out, to try in another marriage. So I have seen I have seen marriages where in my own parents' generation, where the woman comes back to her husband's house after having 4 children in a previous marriage, and I'm wondering, they said no, they were previously married. She couldn't have kids here. He couldn't have kids, so they had to try outside and married later in their middle ages. So there's nothing new. In those places, you will come outside like this, do name me here, Baba Elele, and come back here and say, this is my marriage. But the pregnancy is for this house. Don't go and do name me. Go and when you see my dad, you will see all those things.
Let me go in a break. There's not a guest.
There's people that hide all these things.
We have to wrap up this thing. The truth is that deception, I don't think it's our culture. I think deception is...
We are open people.
We are whitewashing our culture.
I think the truth is that in this whole thing, we can't finish this.
We did not do chimerism. We have not finished. Chimerism there is 2 times.
That one is 0.002%. Majority. Let's go. Unfortunately, we have to wrap. But to wrap this up, I would say that this data is quite alarming, especially because I also say that it's usually firstborn children, mostly. I think it was about, I was trying to get the data for us. I think it was about 30 or so percent. Let me give you the data properly. Says that the report noted that the firstborn children, especially sons, were significantly more likely to have negative paternity test results. It also said that about 50-something%.
That means something because we love having sons first.
It's that 88% of paternity tests were initiated by men.
Okay.
So men are the ones trying to find out, and for men between the age of 41 and above. So a lot of men today are coming out to seek this result. Children between the ages of 0 and 5 made up the majority of those tested, and 58%. And in the previous year, I'm trying to just get the
Do you see why Maramatu said that thank God is not cheap? Imagine that this was a test strip case that we can buy 200.
If we go into the grassroots,
everybody will just put it in their children's mouth.
We'll come back and bring in our women with us. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Introducing the new Jig Sachet, whitening your white.
Imagine a country with over 300 plenty languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo? Where we get a common language, where they unite everybody from Oga to even Madam self and every person where they for street. That's why we they introduce you 89.9 Yanga FM, the #1 urban pidgin radio station where they unite us all. From the award-winning breakfast show, Waiting Day, with your brother, your friend, Wale Po.
Everywhere. So, Bobo.
This is not Cruise Express.
And this go be the best 4 hours of our life. Country people, make una join us.
Oh.
Now we be What's Up Naija crew. Now we they give you what they sup for inside we country. Yes, so keep it locked.
If God be your papa, why you not gonna make younger?
How do I holla? Now here we dey settle all the matter.
Bro, you right here. Nobody better than we, right?
Okay, now whispers be that. Make I just be the last sensible voice where you go hear.
Now we be 89.9 Yanga FM.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of your view are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
This is not just the round table. This is the Black Table.
This is the Black Table, where real men speak the truth about the world we live in, the games we play, the power we chase, and the women who shake it off. Unfiltered.
There's this entitlement to choice.
Unapologetic.
There's something in sociology that said even crime has an advantage in the society.
Unafraid.
In my practice, I found that sometimes the woman is saying honey, but you are hearing monkey.
Sports, politics, culture, women, and what it means to be a man in today's world. No scripts, no safe zones, just grown conversations. So pull up a chair if you're built for it. This is the Black Table.
Imagine a country with over 300 plenty languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo? Where we get a common language, where they unite everybody from Oga to even Madam self, and every person where they for street. That's now why we dey introduce you 89.9 Yanga FM, the #1 urban pidgin radio station where they unite us all. From the award-winning breakfast show, Waiting Day, with your brother, your friend, Wale Po.
Everywhere.
So, Boko.
Gen Z, you dey job for this time.
This is not Cruise Express.
And this go be the best 4 hours of our life. Country people, make una join us.
Oh.
Now we be What's Up Naija crew. Now we they give you wetin dey sup for inside we country.
Yes, so
keep it loud.
If God be your papa, why you not gonna make younger?
how do I holla? Now here we dey settle all the matter.
Bro, you right here. Nobody.
Thanks for staying with us. So our guest today is Kemi Ojenike. She's the Chief Operating Officer at Meristem Family Office. Kemi is a seasoned lawyer and family wealth advisor with a proven track record in helping families preserve and grow multi-generational wealth. She's also a social entrepreneur and co-founder of the Destiny Trust, a non-profit dedicated to supporting vulnerable children through education, shelter, and empowerment programs. On Wednesdays, we like to celebrate women who are doing amazing work, and that's why we have her to join us here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. So tell us a bit about the work you do. I mean, many of us see the impact you've made, especially with your foundation. Tell us a bit about yourself. How did you get into it, and how far have you come?
Awesome. Thank you. I'm a lawyer by training, right? And I started like most lawyers do in a law firm. Then a few years later, I thought I wanted to try something else. Thing interesting. So I went in-house into a wealth management firm. I was providing legal services in the firm.
Nice.
And then an opportunity came up to provide some legal support within the family office segment of that firm. It was completely out of my depth, but I was willing to try. And somehow from trying, I ended up leading that business. And from that, I moved to where I am currently, Meristem, where I now lead the family office business.
Wow.
So that's a high-level summary of what I'm about.
So wealth creation, wealth management, we're just talking about, kids and family, sustainable, living on estate and all of that. So how does this work? How do you, manage assets for people in, no matter, even in clean families? What's the word? Simple families as opposed to complex. How do you even do? What do you do?
Awesome. So it starts with mindsets. because we typically adopt a different approach. So typically when you think estate planning, you're thinking a will, you're thinking of leaving money for children and all of that. But
we're thinking rich people.
Rich people. But what we realize is that many times those structures do not work. So more often than not, you're hearing about people who are in court because they are fighting over inheritance, they are fighting over this and that. You hear of a founder, a matriarch, a patriarch, they've spent their lives building businesses. But if you think back, how many of those businesses actually successfully transition? Very few. And so what we realized is that simply arranging for money to be transferred is not enough, because what that means is that you're focusing on money alone, and that is the recipe for disaster. Because if success will be sustainable, there are a lot more other things. You need to be focusing on what we call your complete wealth, not just financial assets. Because the financial assets are a tool. They are not the wealth in themselves. They are supposed to support the other forms of assets, your intangible assets that you have. And if you're not doing that, what happens is disaster, conflict, people are fighting, children are unprepared because there are expectations that do not meet. So what we are saying is focus on complete wealth. And what does that mean? Your human capital. The people in the family are, first of all, your most critical assets, because they are the ones that will make the decisions that will impact the money. Then your intellectual capital. That is what you have created that translates to value, that translates to money. You need to be able to capture that. So whatever inventions, whatever businesses, whatever strategies helped you to be successful, there has to be a way of transmitting it. Then your values, your acted out values, not what you say your values are. Those are the things that determine the decisions that you will take. They are the things that will protect your family. And then the financial capital now comes to energize everything else and sustain it. Because we keep focusing on money alone. And it's like focusing on one tire in your car, and you are going on a long trip, and you ignore everything else. There's no way that trip will be successful.
I have never heard a wealth management person describe it as you have described it. Because wealth is just money. We put everything together to have that money, and that's what our children inherit. You know. So thank you for that. It's just that you're here for Women We Love, so I'll just ask more personal questions.
Of course.
The question for me is, you know, you tell us the story of how you transition into this business that you do now, and it's usually quite male dominated. And I wonder how you have been able to manage being in this sector, and what are the lessons that you have learned?
Awesome. So the first thing I would say that helped me is the willingness to try. Remember I mentioned that I'm a lawyer. I was practicing as a lawyer. And then my boss at the time gave me an opportunity to anchor an event, like an event of high net worth individuals, completely out of my depth. And typically the response would have been no. But I thought, let me try this thing out. I mean, it doesn't hurt. So I prepared for it. I read up on it. I tried to understand. I had guidance structure. And we did the event. And after that event, I got a double promotion.
Wow.
And the opportunity to lead the business. And I just kept thinking, what if I said no? What if I try to wriggle out of it? Many times we try to do things within what we are comfortable in. But sometimes just give it a shot. You never know. It may not be perfect, but give it a shot. That's one lesson I've learned. Because the more you try, the more you challenge yourself, the more you will learn, the more you will evolve, and the more you will offer solutions that would not matter whether you are male or female. As long as you have something valuable to offer, you will be sought after. That's one thing that I've learned on my journey so far.
Wow. So this new venture now, did you go to school to learn it, or how did it come to you?
Honestly, no, because right now there is no degree that is called family wealth. You know, I mean, you have things around trust and estate planning, but that holistic approach, there's nothing formal. So one of the things that really helped me was that I encountered someone that I consider to be the foremost expert in that space. And I listened. A lot of listening, a lot of asking questions, a lot of reading, a lot of research. Honestly, I have not had any formal training on this, but just paying attention and trying and just evolving with it, and also writing about it has made a huge difference.
How in your experience, how do you think it is for people to detach from something they built? So I know somebody who had a school, she all her life, maybe 30-some years, and then all the kids went abroad. They're not interested in that business. They don't care about, they have their own life in either Australia or some country. And then she has this huge estate, and she's thinking, who am I going to hand it over to you to? So this is happening a lot today.
Absolutely.
How has been your experience in handling these kind of things where parents are now forced to either detach from what they've worked for or hand over to complete strangers or even sell it off totally? I mean, how has that been?
That a huge issue, like you said, a real problem. And one thing that we realize is at the center of that is that the founders are afraid of losing relevance in what they have built. Like this thing is like an extension of their lives, like their fourth child or something. But what we try to help them understand is what you're doing is you're not necessarily leaving, you are transitioning into another role. So instead of being the founder that was responsible for day-to-day decision making, you are evolving into a coach of some sort for the next generation. You're saying, okay, I've built this thing. Now I want to step back a little bit and see how it can grow without me. So they are not losing relevance. They will always be relevant in that venture. Another thing is that thought of, I want my child to take over. Usually we consider it as an event, not a process. So what happens is that the child has turned 25. You call them into an office and say, oh yeah, take over. And the child is like, no, as in I'm not interested, I don't know anything about this, I'm not. But it's not an event. That preparation, if that's what you really want, it's a process. And it's a process that you begin, ideally, when that child is still young and impressionable. You don't force them into it, you help them see the values that have made you successful. And then you have to align their skills with what is needed in that business. So if someone is artistic in nature, don't force them to come and be the CEO. Find ways that their artistic expression can benefit the business such that there's an alignment. So it's not impossible. We just need to be a bit more open-minded about how to get children to participate in the business and how to ensure that that business lives. Because it doesn't have to be a child that is at the helm of affairs. As long as it's a qualified person doing what is necessary and what is right, that legacy will live on.
You're so interesting to listen to. I'm enjoying you break it down.
I wanted to ask before
I want to bring it to her. You know, because with all that you've said, your career, it seems as if you don't have family life. Other things. Is there no pressure from any other aspect of your life on this your part of career that you're
So I am married and I have 2 children. And thankfully my children are still young, so I get to sort of practice some of the things that I'm teaching on them. So I think the sort of family that I've been blessed with, we've always been big on building beyond us. So some of the non-profit work I do, I've been doing that for 13 years, and it's been building beyond you. So this just seems like a natural extension of it. So I wouldn't say there are pressures. I mean, other than the need to balance the day-to-day, time, taking care of children and all of that, I would say, thankfully, my life is very complementary in the different things that I do.
Wow. So the follow-up question I'm going to ask you, because I mean, what you said is so right. But when you feel like I'm giving my company to strangers and you're going to be, you're saying no, you're going to be a coach. But I know a company where the man's fear is that I want my children to benefit continuously, like children to know that I created this. But they feel that until my child is part of that, it's not going to happen. I can't trust a stranger to sustain that consistent wealth transfer to my children. So how do you help them cover that?
Honestly, the answer to that is structure. Because many times that feeling of if my child is not at the center, it will not continue. Many times it doesn't quite pan out. I've seen cases where children were put on boards, were put on this and that, and they didn't participate. It didn't make a difference. So what you need to do is create the right structure. First of all, realize that there's a difference between ownership and management. Your children and your family can be owners of that business, but they don't have to be the managers of that business. When you create the right structure, and it's not you handing over everything to a stranger, it's you creating, first of all, finding the person whose skills and attitude aligns most to the building of that entity, then creating structure around them to keep them accountable. That's part of what we do. We're not handing it over. There will be checks and balances. We will stress test the system. Okay, if this happens, what do you do? If this happens, how do you change it. It's not 100%, but it will get you closer to where you need to go because there will always be risk. There will always be.
So there's one question that I've been seeing actually coming up often. So usually, in the home, the man is usually the wealth maker, and he passes on to his wife and children. But now we have families where the wife is the one who creates the wealth.
Absolutely.
And there's usually a transition of where she just hands it over to the children, and somehow the man is forgotten. So what advice you give families like that, especially if the woman felt that throughout her marriage he was badly behaved? How do you also protect the man, because it's part of the family, that wealth creation, even if he was not the direct breadwinner?
So the thing about family is that it's a very tricky enterprise. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. So typically, when we go in, the first thing is that, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? There are families that they don't want to leave anything to their children. They want to give it all to charity. They feel like as long as I've educated Nigerian families, oh yes, once I've educated them and I've empowered them, that's all I owe them, right? There are some that they want to give it to children, they want to give it to relatives. So based on our understanding of what they want, we now build a structure around it and we advise accordingly. So in the example that you gave, you want to give all to your children and neglect the husband. We would stress test that structure. What happens if, first of all, does he have any potential rights? What happens if he challenges this structure, right? So when we do that and we think of all the scenarios, we'll now create the structure that works best, because ultimately we cannot do anything against your desire. So it is us understanding what your goals are, building around your goals.
We have to wrap up.
No
Thank you. It was fun having you.
Thank you.
But it's good to know that there are women in this space, because a lot of women are always scared when they build wealth to be sure that they are protected. Sometimes some of them have to hand it over to either spouses or family, but with people like you, we know that, okay, we can actually have a conversation on wealth. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you for having me. It was lovely being here.
That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.